Hey, what's up guys? Before this video starts, I just wanted to let you guys know and kind of show you how to get notified every time I upload by hitting that bell notification. YouTube has that funny way of not telling my subscribers, and it's not just me, it's pretty much everybody, but not telling our subscribers when we upload, so it kind of messes us up on views and likes and stuff like that. So I'll throw it up here on the screen right quick. And it's super simple. You just go to the home page of whatever content creator and you just hit that bell notification, and something should pop up saying that you'll get all notifications from this content creator. And that's it. Simple. Takes, I don't know, 10 seconds at most. So thanks guys, and let's get into the video. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Southside Fishing. I am your host Nick, and today I was going to go fishing, but when I woke up at about 6 a.m. it was pouring, so I'm like, you know what, not really feeling it. I guess I'll just stay inside and do a review for you guys on a reel I've been using you know, for a couple days or a couple weeks, sorry, now, and that reel being the 13 Fishing Concept A. This is a really special reel. I really like it. A lot of people give 13 Fishing a lot of negativity, a lot of crap, and really they're really not that bad of a reel. So yeah, I'm just gonna be talking to you a little bit about this reel today, giving you my thoughts, if I think you should buy it for the price point that it's at, and yeah. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, this reel right here is the 13 Fishing Concept A. Like I said before, I believe it's a 7:3:1. They do come with 4 different gear ratios, that being I think a 5:3:1, a 6:3:1, a 7:3:1, and an 8:3:1. Like I said before, this is the 7:3:1. Both left-hand and right-hand retrieves on all of them, except for I think the 5:3:1 from what I was looking at. Now, when you're taking an up-close look at this reel, you see that it looks really good with those cork grips. Just look at it. It's that matte black with those cork grips on there and those silver accents kind of on it, on that handle there. That is just a really good looking reel, and these cork grips are super comfortable. They're non-slip, so you're fishing in the rain or anything like you saw in my last video. I was fishing in the rain. I was having no problem holding on to these things. I was not slipping or anything when I was catching fish. So it's just a really good design, and not to mention that it looks badass. I mean, you can't tell me that that reel just does not look really sick. So the body is a low profile aluminum body. As you can tell, it sits really low on rods. Like you can palm. I don't even have the biggest of hands. I really don't have big hands, and I can palm this thing no problem. It's really comfortable. Some people don't like small grip or small reels that you can palm like this. Me, I happen to be a fan of it. I really feel like I can get more control over it and whatnot. So I'm a big fan of this low profile and smaller reel. And don't let the size fool you. I mean, this thing is a freaking beast. I'll get on that just a little bit later. Got 7 ball bearings. 3 of those are stainless steel. 3 of those are, I believe, anti-corrosion. And I think one's a dead stop anti-reverse bearing. So, very smooth, very smooth. Like I said before, 7:3:1 gear ratio. It's got, this reel has what they call their Bulldog drag system, and that delivers, this tiny reel, that delivers 22 pounds of drag. Now, like I was saying, don't let that size fool you. 22 pounds of drag, that is insane. That's actually insane for a reel this size. That's insane for pretty much any reel, honestly. You take a look at this thing and you'd be like, oh yeah, maybe 11 pounds at most, you know, but no, 22 pounds, that is just money. It's got a 6-way centrifugal brake system, so let me open that side plate here. 6-way centrifugal brake system, so if you can see that, I don't know how well that's focusing, but you've got numbers 0 through 6, 0 obviously being no brake, 6 being the max brake. 6-way, matter of fact, let me take the spool out here. 6-way centrifugal brake system, very easy to adjust. You just turn the dial as such. I think I had it on 3 before, so let me change that back before I forget. Now this spool holds 100 yards of 12-pound monofilament, and you may be thinking to yourself, hey, that's not that much. I kind of want a reel that has more. Well, it's more than you're going to be casting. You're not going to be, unless you like upgrade your bearings to some super crazy stuff, you're not going to cast all your line off of this thing. It's actually more than enough line on here. I've got this thing paired up with some 30-pound Sufix 832. As always, you know that's my favorite braid. It's got an 8-pound diameter, so I fit a lot of braid on this thing. Like I say, it's more than enough on here. I don't know how many yards I actually have on this spool, but it's a lot, and it's a lot. As you see, that is a hinged side plate, so that thing's not going anywhere. I can't say how many times I've dropped and even lost from some of my side plates to my reels just because they're not hinged like that. They just pop right off, and you can drop them over the boat, or you can lose them in the grass or anything like that. So that's a big plus with this reel. It is hinged, so you do not have to worry about that at all. Put the spool back in like so. Close that side plate and lock that trigger, and you're good to go. I hope I put it in right. Yep, I put it in right. Now, since this being a small reel, there's only weighs 6.8 ounces, and you're like, hey, that's kind of, for a reel this size, that's kind of much. And it to be honest, it is a little much for a reel that is this size, but it's very light. It really does not feel like 6.8 ounces. I'm not even lying when I say that. It is very light, but it's also really rugged, and you can feel that really ruggedness, I should say, sorry, when you're holding onto this reel. Like, it's not gonna feel like cheap plastic that'll flex or anything like that when you set the hook or anything like that. So another really cool thing about this reel is that it comes out of the box saltwater ready. So if you're doing fresh and saltwater, you don't have to switch out your reels. You can use this for both. Sealed up real good. Saltwater's not getting any of the important stuff, so it's not gonna grind. It's not gonna mess up your reel or anything like that. And when I spin it, I don't know if you can hear that. The only reason it's making that sound is because this braid is slapping that trigger every time it goes around it. It's actually like straight out of the box, you will not hear a thing. This is really smooth. So it has that arrowhead line guide. Let me see if I can focus on that there. As you see, that arrowhead line guide, which supposedly makes you cast farther and kind of reduces a little bit of backlash. It's kind of like that T-wing system that Daiwa has. It just overall makes you cast farther, so that is a plus. I've heard a lot of bad things about 13 Fishing, and this is literally the first 13 Fishing reel that I've ever owned, and I fell in love with it. With that 22 pounds of drag, you have to, I mean, you don't have to, but in my opinion, it should really be designated as something like a frogging rod or something like that. Put some 30-pound braid on there, whatever brand you want. Obviously I use Sufix 832, but just put some braid on there, and this thing is a beast. Like, your drag's not slipping if you have it set right, and you can wench those fish out of cover very easy. It's meant for a really beefy setup, and therefore I have it on a really beefy rod. This is a Flares frogging and flipping stick. It's a 7.3 extra heavy, I believe. And this, I mean, you can pull up a freaking mountain with this setup right here. This is a really heavy rod and a really strong reel. So that's why I have it on that rod. I mean, I love this thing, to be honest with you. It's not my favorite reel. I will be doing some reviews on like my favorite reel and my second favorite reel and my third and so on a little bit later in upcoming videos, but this is high on that list. I am not gonna lie. Like I was saying earlier, this reel it has an aluminum frame, so when you set the hook on those big fish or any fish in general, you're not gonna get that flex that you sometimes feel with graphite spools or graphite reels, sorry. That spool tension adjustment knob is it has clicks, so I always love reels that have clicking spool adjustment tension knobs, because you can really dial it in. I don't know if you can hear this. That's I mean, to me, that's a must. I don't think all my reels have that though, but it's very nice to have. You can really dial it in, like I said, to what you really want it as. And speaking of dialing it in, when you get this thing dialed in for you, it casts a mile. It casts a mile. I don't know if you go back to my last video, you'll see me casting this thing. No backlashes, not a single backlash. I was bombing a frog out there, bombing it, and I was getting no backlashes. I didn't really even have to put, in fact, I really didn't have to put my thumb on the spool. I didn't have to thumb this thing at all, and it was just holding its own, no backlashes, very, very, very minimal flare-ups, and it was bombing them out there. I could definitely see this reel, even though I've had it for about 2.5 weeks, I could definitely see this reel lasting a very, very long time, even if you don't take care of it. Now, I take care of my reels. I clean them probably once a month. Every reel I clean about once a month. And if honestly, I've seen videos online where they've taken this and used it in salt water and fresh water, haven't cleaned it for probably a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, and it works just fine. It's still really smooth, and that just goes to show that 13 Fishing has made a really good reel here for $175. For the price, this isn't the best. For the price, this is not the best reel. For the price, I believe. I think that the Shimano Corrado K is for $175 the best reel that you can get for the price. But this is damn close to it. It might be number 2, might be the second best reel that you could get for $175. Bait casting, that is. And you can throw a multitude of things on here. I've only thrown I've thrown crankbaits on here. I've thrown frogs on here, jigs on here. I've tied a leader to this, like a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, even an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, and thrown like shaky heads on this thing. Like, you can really throw a multitude of baits on this. Now, I don't know, I haven't tried a Senko yet, or I haven't tried really, really light stuff like balsa wood crankbaits or something like that are really, really light. And the crankbaits that I've tried are, the Strike King ones. They're plastic and a little bit of weight in them, but it has handled everything that I've thrown on it very, very good. That drag adjustment also has a click. So that's, you can dial it in even more with the clicks. I'm saying every time your reel clicks, you can dial it in just a little bit more than a reel that doesn't click. But yeah, I mean, this is just an all-around pretty good reel. I have to throw some different baits on here than I've been throwing. Like, I want to try to throw a really heavy like swim bait on here or something, and I want to try to throw a really light bait, like maybe a Ned rig or something like that on here, just to see how it holds up. See if chucking and winding those big swim baits burn out the gears over time. I've heard that they have not burned out. People have thrown swim baits and stuff like that on this reel. But that's something that could be pretty interesting to test out here in the upcoming future. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I gotta say about this reel. It's really smooth, really affordable for the price, and I'd probably recommend it for I kind of want to say beginners, but beginners sometimes, or a lot of times, don't always have $175 to spend on a reel. But if you do have that money and you are a beginner, I would definitely recommend picking up one of these 13 Fishing Concept A's. That or a Corrado, but that's a different video. I might do a little comparison, like a 1v1 between those two reels, the Shimano Corrado K and the 13 Fishing Concept A. So stay tuned for that, maybe. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to get a couple more reel review videos out for you guys coming up in the next couple of days. Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification like I showed you at the beginning of the video. And as always, fish every day.